I remember the rain that night, a curtain of silver, slicing through my headlights as I pushed the rig down Highway 9. My hands were numb from the cold, my eyes burning from 20 hours straight on the road. Then I saw them, a family stranded by the shoulder, flashers blinking, a man waving, two kids huddled inside the car. I slowed down. Against every warning I'd ever been given, I stopped. He looked desperate, mid-40s, nice coat, the kind of face you trust. "Battery's dead," he said, breath visible in the storm. "We've been here an hour." So I hooked up the chain, pulled their car to the next town. Refused payment. Told him to get his family warm. He gripped my hand. "You're a good man." I smiled. Drove off into the dark. That was 2 weeks before I found him sitting across from my boss. When my boss called me into his office that morning, I thought it was about the shipment from Tulsa, maybe a delay report. But the air shifted the second I opened the door. He was there, the same man. Fresh suit, calm eyes, legs crossed like he owned the room. "Edward," my boss said, "this is Mr. Green. He's the new logistics consultant. He'll be auditing driver conduct and fuel expenses for the next quarter." "Mr. Green," he smiled, polite, rehearsed, not a hint of recognition. "Pleasure," he said, extending his hand again. I stared at it, didn't take it. The same hand I pulled from the rain. For a week, I played along, watched him move through the office like smoke, invisible but everywhere. He wasn't auditing logistics, he was auditing me. Asking quiet questions, requesting copies of my delivery logs, route sheets, even gas station receipts. By Thursday, I knew. He wasn't some consultant. He was bait. Someone had sent him. Then I found the email, an internal memo accidentally forwarded to me, addressed to Green from my boss. Objective: confirm irregularities in Edward Cole's records. Deliver findings before end of month. There it was, betrayal in plain text. After 12 years with this company, 12 years of sleeping in cabs, eating from gas stations, missing birthdays, holidays, they wanted to cut me loose, but not clean. They wanted dirt, and they sent him to get it. I didn't confront them, not yet. Instead, I rewrote my story, from victim to executioner. First, I traced Mr. Green's background. Simple search led nowhere, but I went deeper. Real name wasn't Green, it was Daniel Harris, private investigator, ex-corporate recovery specialist, hired by firms to dig up just cause for terminations, saving companies severance money. That's what I'd been worth to them, a payout they didn't want to make. They wanted me gone cheap. I started collecting my own evidence, quietly. Each time he reviewed my logs, I mirrored the data, documenting every modification he made, every alteration to timestamps, every line he corrected. He was building a false case. I was building a real one. I set up a camera in my cab, disguised in the dash, recorded myself refueling, loading, unloading, every mile accounted for. And when I was ready, I baited him back. "Hey, Mr. Green," I said one morning, casual, "I might have missed a line on the 17th log. Can you check it?" He nodded, eager. That afternoon, I left a flash drive on my desk labeled Route Adjustments. Inside were 3 fake documents, perfectly forged route sheets that showed inflated fuel usage, missing mileage, and falsified deliveries. I watched him take it when he thought I wasn't looking. He smiled, just slightly. I knew then he'd hang himself. 2 days later, my boss called another meeting. The rain was back, like it had been waiting for this. I walked into the office. Green was there again, confident, a folder in front of him. "Edward," my boss began, "Mr. Green has uncovered some inconsistencies in your logs, significant ones." I said nothing. Green slid the folder across. "We have reason to believe you've been falsifying routes, costing the company over $12,000 this quarter." I leaned back. "You sure about that?" He smiled. "It's all here." I opened the folder, my forged logs, neatly printed. I looked up. So this is your evidence? Yes. I nodded slowly. Then you might want to call your lawyer. I placed my own folder on the table. Inside were screenshots of him copying files from my desk, video stills of him editing my logs, audio recordings of him admitting to cleaning up data, and the final page, a report addressed to the Department of Labor, time-stamped an hour before the meeting, containing every fraudulent action tied to his alias. Green's smile cracked. My boss's face drained of color. "You set me up," I said softly. "Now I've set you up."
Green stammered. You falsified? Those weren't real logs, I interrupted. But your edits were, and every time you changed them, you committed evidence tampering. I didn't lie, Mr. Green. I recorded the truth. My boss's voice broke. "Edward, No," I said. Calm. Final. You wanted to fire me for fraud. You hired one to do it. Now the department will handle both of you. I stood. The rain outside turned heavier, drowning the silence between us. They didn't stop me when I walked out. By the end of the week, the company was under investigation. Green's real identity became public. My boss resigned for personal reasons. And me? I was done driving. I sold the rig, took the payout they'd tried to deny me, and walked away from 12 years of asphalt and lies. Sometimes I think back to that night in the storm, how I stopped when I should have kept driving. He'd said I was a good man. He was wrong. I was a tired man who learned to keep receipts. And when you betray someone who's lived his life on the road, you forget one thing. We don't burn bridges, we tow them.